Welcome to our second and final video on setting up the Quasar free base on a Windows 64-bit computer. I know this is starting to sound like quite a bit of stuff to set up, and it is, but never fear, we're almost there. And when you're done, you're going to have a premier business application running with one of the world's best databases and premier management tools, all at zero cost. So let's get started. First, what we need to do is we need to open up the command prompt in administrator mode. So we'll just go down here and we'll open up that command prompt. We'll right click to run it as administrator. And yes, we're going to allow that. And here we are. Once we have the command prompt open in administrator mode, we're going to cd to C program files Quasar 3.1.0 bin. Press enter. And from there, we're actually going to install the Quasar D as a service. So we're just going to type Quasar D. And we should hit tab. If it's there, it should fill out. Yep. And just simply -I to install. So we'll press enter. And we can see now the service has been installed. And it's in program files, Quasar 3.1.0 bin, Quasar D. So now that that's installed, we go down to our service, and we're going to open up a service. We've worked with this services before when we installed the Microsoft SQL Express. So we're going to go down in the services, and we're going to look for Quasar D. There it is. We're going to double click on that. Open it up. We want the startup type to be automatic. We want it to automatically start up whenever we start up the computer. And we're going to start it right now. Takes a second, it starts. We say OK, and our Quasar D should be running. To make sure it is, we'll open up the file. We're going to go to the C directory, program files again. We're going to go back into Quasar and 3.1.0 and the bin directory, and we're going to find the Quasar administration program, Quasar admin, and let's right click on that and create a shortcut. Yes, we'll put it on the server right there. Let's just rename that, look something a little nicer. Rename Quasar admin. There we go. And let's open it and see what happens. There, you can see that the version is showing up. So that means that this client is talking to the Quasar server. So everything's working fine so far. One last chore before we create a new company. Let's click on drivers. And you remember the password that you set up in the SQL Server Management tool, where I left the password to Quasar. You can see here the DBA password. I have it set to Quasar because that's the little password I used. You need to enter the password that you put in the SQL Server Express Management tools. And same here. You have to put the password there. Once that information's in place, just click OK. Now, what we want to do is we want to create a new company. So we'll click on Companies, and we'll go to New Company, and we'll put in our password, which is the default password is admin. You can change that at any time. And we're going to call our new company Sample Company. Sample Company. There we go. Our database is SQL Server Express. And let's just use a password of admin. And we'll verify it as admin. And say OK. And you can see we have a new company created. But this company hasn't got any data in it, so since we want to open it up and play with it, let's click on Import. And let's import some data. If we look in our program files again, and down to Quasar 3.1.0 import directory, you'll see we have 3 files. We have a basic ledger, which would mean you'd be starting and setting up everything but your basic ledger, which is set up for you. You could set up a basic ledger with WooCommerce import data so that you could quickly export data from a WooCommerce website into Quasar. Or we could import a sample company. So let's do that. Let's double click on sample company and import that. And the import has succeeded. So now we have a sample company with data. We can close out our Quasar admin. We can close out this. And it's welcome to Quasar. Looks like the first time you've run the Quasar client, which it is. So we'll click next. I am in English Canada, so I'll leave that. If I was somewhere else, I could use the drop-down menu and pick a different location. I'm going to open an existing company because I have a sample company there. I'm running on this server, which we can leave blank. If I was connecting to a different server, I would just put that server IP address in here. And we'll connect to the new sample company that we have. The default user is admin. And we set up the password as admin as well. We'll enter that. Click next. Default store is 1. A default station is 8. And an employee is 100. We can use that. Click next. Finish. And you can see we're in the Quasar main store with all the information here. We can look at the inventory, view the item list, and all our items are in here. We can open up one of the items and view the information. So it's all working as it should. You have a complete free Quasar base installation. And that concludes our series of 2 videos on setting up the free Quasar base on a 64-bit Windows computer. Thank you for watching.